the musical solo of the National Black Anthem being performed by Miss Naomi Watkins. Naomi Joy. Welcome everyone, and have our unveiling very shortly. We won't keep you long outdoors, but I'll take the time to introduce myself. My name is Josie Lemon Allen. I'm with Bridge the Gap Coalition in partnership with the Truth and Justice Project. As I said before, we are here for the historical marker unveiling for July Perry. It has been a long road to this day to get here. Among us are the people that made it possible. Long before I started this road in 2016, there was a group here in Orlando. They were the Democracy Forum. They're here today and they're represented as a part of our Truth and Justice Project. I want to make sure that we honor and recognize them for their work in 1997 through early 2000 in finding the gravesite of July Perry, for finding the death certificate, for having a play and being so brave to give this to our community, even at a time when our community may or may not have been ready. We are ready today, Orlando community. Among us are these beautiful children that have come to take in the history that of 98 years has not been available the way it should. So every adult today, it is our responsibility to make sure that these young people remember this day so that these stories and the legacies never die. I want to honor the descendants of July Perry and also the family members of those who escaped in the massacre that night. We'll have an opportunity to honor them. I want to make sure that you know that they are here with us today, and we honor them for being here. There is an amazing movement that is happening in our country, and it is being headed by an outstanding organization that is also here with us and has guided us in this process for the last 2 years. I want to make sure that we recognize the Equal Justice Initiative out of Montgomery, Alabama. There was a vision, and there is a visionary. And they are here, and we have worked together to make this moment possible. At this time, I want to recognize our city and county governments that partner with the Truth and Justice Project that allowed us to be here on this city and county property before all of you offering the resources and the time to guide and get us to this point. Thank you for the media that's arrived to make sure that the coverage is available to our nation, not just our community, but to our nation and to the world, because we are all a part of an incredible history that is unfolding on this day, June 21st, 2019. As we go into our historical marker unveiling, I would like to introduce our city mayor, Mayor Buddy Dyer. Please join me.
Wow, I look out at this crowd and it's beautiful. It's so diverse, it's welcoming, it's inclusive, and it's, you know, this is Orlando. This crowd is absolutely Orlando. Today, the City of Orlando joins with Orange County government, the City of Oak Point, the Truth and Justice Project of Orange County, and the Equal Justice Initiative for this truly historic event, and I appreciate all the partners and sponsors that are here today. Also want to recognize the 3 city commissioners that are here with us: Commissioner Patty Sheehan, Commissioner Regina Hill, Commissioner Samuel Ames. And I am proud to welcome Bryan Stevenson, the founder and CEO of the Equal Justice Initiative, to our community. I know we're all excited in anticipation of his remarks after this unveiling, so we're so glad you're here. I had the privilege and the opportunity to travel to Montgomery last year to see the EGI Legacy Museum and the National Monument for Peace and Justice, and it's hard really to describe. It may be the most well-done memorial that I have ever witnessed, and I hope that we draw some inspiration for our memorial and museum that we're going to do for Pulse here in the next few years. And I know that the people that are working on that have also traveled to Montgomery. And I had a really unique opportunity. I was there because we were launching the U.S. Conference of Mayors Center for Inclusion and Compassion, but also our local group, our local Truth and Justice Project, had collected the soil from July Perry's grave, and we're waiting to transport it to Montgomery, and they offered me the opportunity to take the soil with me and to present directly to Bryan, so that was a great honor. And we appreciate all of you being here to dedicate this marker for July Perry, who was a victim of racial terror in the 1920 Iroquois massacre. We're especially grateful to have some of the living descendants of July Perry and other families that are here with us. July Perry's great-grandson, I believe, is here, Stephen Nunn. Stephen here? There's Stephen. Stand up, please, Stephen. Stephen's mother and great-grandmother were in the house the night that July Perry was taken and never returned. Gladys and Aaron Franks. Stay here, right here in the front. Great. Would you please stand? Aaron's father was July Perry's cousin, and his family escaped that night of the massacre, deserting their property, and they resettled in Plymouth. And I also want to recognize Robert Hickey, who's unable to be here with us, but his grandparents were business partners with July Perry. They lost all 100 acres of their land that they owned in Iroquois through the massacre, and they survived by hiding in the swamp and then resettling to Apopka. So please join me in recognizing these descendants. We have a lot of children here, and one of the reasons is spring, the City of Orlando provided a trip to the Legacy Museum for 40 students from our Paramore Kids Zone, And many of these young people are here today for the unveiling and to hear Bryan's message. If you were on that bus, would you raise your hand? As we reflect on the horrors of the Ocoee massacre, we know that we can't correct every wrong, especially those that happened almost 100 years ago. But what we can do is we can take steps forward. We can let the healing process begin, and we can hopefully help some of the pain bring a sense of peace. In recent years, our community, this community, has faced hatred, and we came together. We came together united. As we're gathered here today, we can again show that love and unity are stronger, truly stronger than hate. And now I want to introduce somebody who shares in our commitment to inclusion, my good partner, the Mayor of Orange County, Jerry Demings.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer. Good morning to all of you, and good morning to the descendants of July Perry. I want to welcome you to the Orange County Regional History Center as we recognize this great man. But I want to be clear this morning that I have no illusions or delusions that anything that we do here today will right the wrongs of a racist past. But what we can do is respect the attempt. Today's event would not be possible without the decades of community work by such grassroots groups as the Democracy Forum and the West Orange Reconciliation Task Force, which began to excavate the history in 1997. Some of the early activists remain involved today, to include individuals like Francis Boykin, Curtis Michelson, Sandra Hawthorne, and Charlotte Kendall, who have been working toward this moment for over 20 years. More recently, Kristen Conger, a professor with the University of Central Florida, formed a small group, and together they began their work in 2015 after hearing about Bryan Stevenson and the Equal Justice Initiative. Kristen was joined by Valetta Llewellyn, Peter Schreier, Fairland Livingston, Cyrus Underwood, Harry Covington, Charlie Williams, Mary Daniels, and Kathleen Bale. In 2017, members of the Bridge the Gap Coalition and Valencia's Peace and Justice Institute joined the work, and the new group formed the Veterans of the Movement, and passionate young people became the Truth and Justice Project of Orange County. This day is made possible because of the local grassroots efforts of Central Florida citizens who care about the truth and reconciliation for our community. The difficult work that is being done by the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery, Alabama, is reflected here in Orange County. Bryan, my soon-to-be 97-year-old father, is a native of Alabama. This is a historic day for our community as we unveil the marker of July Perry. The sacrifice of Mr. Perry so that African Americans could vote is a dark and deadly part of our history, and one that will not be forgotten. It is because of his sacrifice and other African Americans before me that I'm able to stand here today as the first African American mayor of Orange County. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Freedom has always been an expensive thing. History is fit testimony to the fact that freedom is rarely gained without sacrifice and self-denial. We must not forget the sacrifice of July Perry, his family and other African Americans killed in this horrific massacre, as we stand here today to honor their memory. As mayor of Orange County, it is vital that our community is built on a strong foundation of collaboration, inclusiveness, and unity, where no one gets left behind. In the words of Dr. King, in his book, Why We Can't Wait, he said these words: wait almost always means never. But I'm thankful that because of people like July Perry, I've been able to, in this community, serve as the Orlando Police Chief, the Orange County Sheriff, and now the Orange County Mayor, and the first African American to serve in each one of those roles. It serves as a testimony to just where we are as a community. I would like to thank the Equal Justice Initiative and the many other partners responsible for bringing today's historic event together. It is now my pleasure to introduce Bryan Stevenson, the founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery, Alabama. Bryan.
Mr. Bryan Stevenson is going to take a place near the marker that represents the legacy of lynching. And we would like to invite the mayors and our families to join him for the unveiling. Mayor Johnson, would you please join the city and county mayors in the ascendance? Orlando community, we present to you the historical marker for Julius July Perry.
with me. Walk with me, Lord. Oh, walk with me. Hey, walk with me, Lord. Please walk with me. While I am on this tedious journey, walk with me, Lord. Oh, walk with me. My grandma used to say this one. Hold my hand, Lord, please. Oh, hold my hand. Hold my hand, Lord, please. Hold my hand. Whoa, on this tedious journey, yeah. Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, yeah. Walk with me. My God, Lord, oh, please be my God. Hey, be my God, Lord, be my God. While I am on this tedious journey, Lord, be my God, be my God, be my God, Lord, be my God. Walk with my mother, Lord, walk with me. Come on, you walk with my mother, Lord, please walk with me. Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, yeah. Walk with me. Walk with me, talk with me, hold my hand, be my God, Lord. Walk with me and talk with me. Hold my hand while I am on this tedious journey. Yeah. Walk with me, yeah. Walk with me. I need you to walk with me, hold my hand, be my God. Oh, walk with
I want to make sure that we acknowledge the elected officials that are here today. I don't know all of you all that are here, but the elected officials that have joined us, if you could please just acknowledge our community and your presence. I want to make sure that we acknowledge that you're here. Thank you for being here with us. At this time, we will have a procession leading into our address. There will be about 15 minutes before that happens. Please follow the young people into the library, and we'll see you there.